Welcome in Wednesday edition. Good morning to you, Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford studio today. Yeah, turn yourself up a little bit from where it was yesterday.
Do what?
Turn your mic up. I'll do it. Never mind. Sorry. Yeah, I have that, not you. You have headphones. Look, it's 8:18 and it's already been a morning. Okay, so here's where we are today.
It has.
Pretty much. So good to be with you guys. We'll take you through here over the next hour and bit. We'll take you through some different things going on as far as our schedule, what we're hearing, and more. There is an update at rebelgrove.com from this morning. Neal put a bunch of words out on the site, so go check that out. It is what?
Just a bunch of words?
Well, you did put a bunch of words out.
That's true.
I didn't say they were good or bad. I simply said you.
I didn't know if you were saying it was like a word salad or something. Because I tried to put a little meat in it, not just. It's already been taken over to our friends at auburnsports.com. Hello to all of you. Yes, they've critiqued it. They're very they like to critique.
Okay. I guess it's inside the network. I guess that's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah. So again, we'll get to stuff. Tell you first about the Oxford Exxon Highway 6 West in Oxford as they are giving away another football jersey from the Egg Bowl. Might be a commemorative kind of thing with everything going on. You can enter to win with any purchase. Gives you a chance to enter that competition and get a navy blue jersey. Ole Miss going very traditional on Thursday night for its uniforms. Navy jerseys, gray pants. Making the traditionalist happy with that one. So
who
that's
knows?
with the Oxford Exxon.
We might get back to that with the new guy. The new guy might go back to the gray pants all the time.
Is it Houston who said he's putting the names back on the back of the jerseys so his mamas could see who their kids were? Wasn't that right?
Yeah, it feels right.
Wasn't that a thing from him?
I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was correct. Which I guess you weren't here for the press conference. You started after spring. You weren't there for that.
My first day on the Ole Miss beat was his first day of spring football practice.
Yeah. That was an introductory press conference thing from Houston. He said he was going to put the names back on the jerseys on the back.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a big thing. That was like the question before the woman from NPR asked him if he felt embarrassed or like it was wrong that he was the highest paid employee in the state of Mississippi. He made some crack about how tuition at Pepperdine's really expensive or something like that. Also, still have time. 24 hours is all they need to potentially get your turkey cooked with Blue Sky here in Oxford. It's $25 without seasoning, $30 if you want them to use their Sweet Daddy's dry rub. So you can take advantage of that today as well here in Oxford. A lot of you guys do that every year. It's a great way to not have to worry about the turkey and let them take care of it there at the Oxford Exxon. Again, to be coming to you from the Clark Ford studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for our buddy Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours, right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest completely up to you. You can shop it around or do what I've done, what I recommend that you do. And that's hop into a Clark Ford today. We'll have a MPW Digital Oxford Exxon Podcast Extra this afternoon with Ben Mintz of Barstool Sports. Go over the weekend ahead in college football, the weekend ahead in the NFL. Didn't think it was really appropriate to do that on this show this week, given all the stuff that's out there. But if you want your weekly rundown of the games and Ben's thoughts on betting lines and such, we'll have that for you. Ben joined on the Rafters Music and Food Hotline. Rafters on the Square is the perfect place for your Christmas party or gathering. They can accommodate parties of 10 to 500. Great food with the Cajun flair, holiday drinks, and a festive atmosphere. Call Jeannie 601-842-0948 to request a catering menu and reserve a date. Speaking of the Egg Bowl, Pete's Pigskin Preview presented by Walk-Ons is up. Caroline produced that. My daughter, Caroline McCready, produced that for me. Got that up yesterday. It's brought to you by Walk-Ons, previewing the Rebels and the Bulldogs. About an hour of X's and O's and film and such. If you are actually interested in the actual contest and not just the post-game press conference, it's there. Walk-Ons puts everything they've got into bringing you game day with a taste of Louisiana. Dig into their mouth-watering, made-from-scratch Louisiana cuisine, po' boys, gumbo, voodoo shrimp. Plus, enjoy fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. What was going on in my mind is Man, he's typing feverishly. I wonder what there's something that's happening. That's literally what's happening.
It's a personal issue.
My mind has like 400 channels going right now, all in front of 70-plus TVs, 40-plus ice-cold beers on tap. Also, let walk-ons take care of all your tailgating needs this season. Inquire today about their family and friends bundles, the tailgate platters. Order online at walkons.com or on their convenient Walk-Ons app.
No, it was personal in nature, logistical.
Gotcha.
So a couple things here before I forget, just to knock these off the top. We have no idea when anything is going down specifically. So just heads up on this. We both have Thanksgiving stuff on Friday. We can't just not do that. That's not really an option. So
I don't want to not do it. I mean, my
exactly.
brother's in town and my sister-in-law's in town, and
it just is what it is.
I want to see them on Friday. Yeah, I don't think this is going to hold all the way to Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, I want to get to that in a second.
But in the event that it breaks Friday afternoon, we might get together Friday night and do something, or we might just do a big Saturday show.
Yeah.
We're going to do an extra show. Going to have it for you. We've got content that we've worked on. It's going to be
all right.
It's going to be all right, but we're not going to immediately drop everything and come racing over here to discuss something that we've been telling you was going to happen in the event that it breaks on Friday afternoon.
You know, it's that deal too where I know it's a weird spot. I don't even necessarily know what the options are. Maybe you go, no, this is absolutely what it is. But if you're Ole Miss, it has to be a little frustrating in a couple different ways that while it's like the worst kept secret in America, no media member other than Sokoloff is really jumping on this thing is done or to be the level that it seems to be per basically every source with every media member. I mean, because here's the truth. A lot of media members know a lot they're not writing right now.
Yeah.
There's this almost coordinated effort to make sure Cadillac is happy. If I'm Ole Miss, I'm kind of going, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to figure out some way.
Yeah.
Because let's tell the truth. All the Auburn media is being totally quiet to make sure Cadillac has his day.
There's no question about it. There's no question.
And there's one or two national media who are going, nope, not touching it. Going to let Cadillac have his day. If I don't even know what your options are, but if I'm Keith, I kind of go.
There's at least one and maybe two that are, in my opinion, okay, that are doing the deal where, hey, if I'll be a good boy, I'm going to get some behind-the-scenes access on, I presume, Sunday.
Sure. Yeah.
That's what I'm guessing. And in that case, I'm kind of like, well, I kind of get it.
But that's not everybody.
But the people on the beat that know stuff that aren't writing it because they don't want to upset the football team on Saturday, that is so freaking pathetic. I'm so sad for you. I am. That is the difference. That's where I will never ever be a fanboy. It just won't happen. Never. And I'll tell you this. If it goes down the way I think it's going to go down, I don't see how it holds through Friday. Maybe it does, but I don't see how.
Well, I guess I don't really even get how it changes anything. Nobody thinks Cadillac Williams is the next coach at Auburn. He's still going to get to go coach his team on Saturday. Who gives a shit?
I don't understand. I really don't. And it's why ultimately I don't think it makes it to Saturday at 2:30. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I am, I am. But I don't think it makes it there. I mean, it just... I
guess my point in that is just from a straight...
It's silly.
Knowing how journalism or at least coaching searches typically work. We can debate whether it would be considered journalism or not.
Hey, and JC23, listen. The thing that motivates me the most, probably in life outside of my family, is money, and we're going to be good. This is good news for us. Chase can vouch for this. I hardly ever pull up our daily admin report.
And you do more than me. I refuse.
I will go 6, 7, 8 months without looking to see whether we've lost subscribers or gained subscribers. I know that's not healthy, and I shouldn't admit this out loud. But I looked this morning, and it was good. It was a happy.
Yeah.
It was a happy moment. We typically grow in these things. And the way this thing is playing out is perfect for growth.
You're getting the two weird things.
Because he's not leaving with everybody sad that he's leaving.
Angry.
He's leaving with people like escorting him out the door, sort of. That's a good thing for what we do. So there's no anger. I'm just befuddled at media playing along for the sake of a football game coached by an interim coach as a 22-point dog. That baffles me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, again, like grinding some of the Auburn people in the thread, I'm not saying that Auburn as an institution is doing anything incorrectly.
No,
that everybody else is in lockstep to a point that you don't see. My point in that was, call it coaching search, call it journalism, call it whatever the hell you want to call it. There was a report from a media member, a station manager of that was reputable in who it was and everything. Yeah, I mean, like it wasn't like it was some random blogger. I mean, it was a whatever. And at that point, no media member locally in Auburn or nationally went either, yeah, I'm in the boat with you, or you're wrong. Right. It went silent, which never happens. No. I mean, seriously, I cannot tell you the last time that something like that happened where there's a report, oh, yeah, he's headed to Auburn, and then we're sitting here, I mean, hell, 36 hours later, 37 hours later, and silence.
And John's not back.
And a lot of it is motivated by, but Cadillac. And it's like.
Do you think it's that?
Let's a couple different things. It's that.
There are some.
It's the worst kept secret in America, but to our knowledge, nothing has officially happened.
Yes.
So there's that. So, like, at some point, you're still just reporting he's planning to. They're planning to.
It's like people say, do you think Kiffin has an offer? And I'm like, well, there's a semantics there, right? Do I think he has an offer, like, literally in his hands? No. Do I think his representation is aware of the forthcoming nature of an offer and likely what is precisely in that offer? That would be my guess. And so you're into some semantics and such. I mean, I don't see. And if you watched this here yesterday, where Lane Kiffin met with his team, and when I say met, it was a very brief meeting.
He met,
and all he told them was those reports weren't true, and that he'd not interviewed with anyone else, and that if he ever were to leave, that they would find
out from him, not the media.
That's not. Hey guys, I ain't going anywhere. I'm here. And you can read rebelgrove.com. I have some quotes from people. We have, obviously, like anybody who covers the team, we have sources inside the team, and so inside the program, and we're able to give you some reaction without outing people and putting people's next couple of days in jeopardy.
Well,
turn me up, they said.
Okay. Is it me? Okay, and it's that. Did you? Okay, I don't know which one's which. Okay. And it could be because I'm yelling too, so it's fine.
You talk louder than I do naturally.
Well, and I can't help it. I use a different tone even. It's something I try not to do, but I have like a radio voice that I don't really mean to go into, but I kind of do. It's not like disc jockey, whatever. But be the eighth caller.
92.9, be the eighth caller, and you win a.
Yeah. But no, it's just it's a strange dynamic because yes, it seems like this worst kept thing, and all the national media are kind of pointing to it, but there's not a lot of juice on it at all. I mean, it's kind of it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, yet everything points in that direction. Literally, I mean, I can't think of anything. Like if you told me to make the case right this moment that Lane Kiffin's the coach at Ole Miss next season, it would just be that Auburn changed its mind. It would. I can't come up with anything else. Because if as of this moment Lane Kiffin believes he's staying at Ole Miss, and for the record, this is a hypothetical. I don't believe this at all. Him not saying it at this point is just borderline insane.
Yeah, I mean, you asked about the meeting yesterday. Yeah, I mean, Lane, again, we don't have a transcript, but the paraphrase is that, yes, he told them that the report from the night before was inaccurate, which is what he also basically said on Reb Talk last night, even getting a little more aggressive with it. That he had not.
Oh, what did he say on Reb Talk?
I don't know if he said. I forget the semantics of it, but basically he had not accepted an offer, and they would find out from him, not someone else, should that be the case. On Reb Talk, he said that John's report was false, and he'd said something about how by tweeting about him, he made John famous. Something in that family of.
That was kind of juvenile
Phrase. Yeah. Again, if you go to Auburn, because you can't come back and go, nope, I signed on Saturday, not Friday. You were wrong, John. Oh, okay, come on.
No. If Lane Kiffin's the coach at Auburn, I will give John credit for breaking the story. I'm sure the national media won't. And that might be part of this. They don't want to give credit to somebody like him. They want to be able to say, ESPN so-and-so broke first to report. And that's my thing. If I'm on the Auburn beat, I want the story. I mean, you're not going to break every story. Like, I've broken stories on this beat. I've gotten beat on stories on this beat. When I covered Auburn, I broke stories on that beat, and I got beat on stories on that beat. So when you have a chance to break a story, you want to break the story. I'm shocked there's nobody over there that's trying to break the story.
I guess that's my point. There's not one single person who goes, no, I want to win.
Well, it tells me that is a beat. No offense, guys, and I know a lot of you and your friends, but that's a beat full of guys that put the program in front of their own career. I can't relate.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, we will. We'll go into a couple other topics here in a second. We'll do that. Before we do that, I'll tell you about Prime Shrimp. PrimeShrimp.com. 6 different flavors available for you. It's delivered directly to your door. They ship it to you within 10 minutes from freezer to plate with Prime Shrimp. They have their garlic herb butter, their French Quarter Alfredo. That's the full meals. They also have the lemon cracked pepper, the signature, great versatile options for salads, put over rice, pasta, whatever it is you have there with Prime Shrimp. And with code MPW, you get $20 off your first order with Prime Shrimp. That's PrimeShrimp.com.
Someone asked if Jay was coming to my house. I say he's certainly welcome. He'd be disappointed because we're not doing Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving because I got to go cover a football game.
90 seconds.
Okay. If you haven't heard, Dead Soxy is excited to announce the next step after becoming licensed with Ole Miss. They're extremely grateful for their opportunity to partner with the Grove Collective, creating unique student-athlete NIL creations that give back. Visit deadsoxy.com/NIL to see which 2 collections drop first, gain access to pre-sale opportunities. Additionally, they welcome you to the pre-Cyber 2022 sale. Buy more, save more. The more you spend, the more you save, so stock up on gifts, stocking stuffers, and don't forget a little something extra for you. Get 25% off any order all the time by using promo code REBELGROVE. Spend $50 or more, get free shipping, 30% off if you order $120 worth of merchandise, and if you order $240 or more, you get 40% off. You can stock your sock drawers and have a wonderful holiday season. College Corner is your one-stop Rebel Shop, 2 locations in the Jackson area. In Ridgeland, it's next to Fleet Feet. In Flowood, it's next to Half Shell. If you don't live in Jackson, just go to collegecornerstore.com. Plus, you can find them on Facebook and Instagram, whether you're tailgating in Oxford or home gating with friends and family. The College Corner has you covered for game day with the largest selection of Rebel gear in central Mississippi. We're also brought to you by The Rogue. It's your destination for fine men's clothing. Their stylish hand-select pieces from top designers. From work to lifestyle to nightlife, there's the perfect something for everyone at The Rogue. All the best items from Peter Millar, Martin Dingman, Jack Victor, Halsey, True Grit, and many more. 4450 I-55 North in Jackson or therogue.com. Also brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429. A-Stock Auctions is a Nashville-based online auction company with the mission to provide customers the power to name their price. All items at A-Stock start at just $1. That's right. Every item starts at $1. You can shop at astock.bid or download their app. Name your price on thousands of items from big name retailers. A-Stock Auctions has multiple locations around Nashville that offer local pickups, so don't miss out. If you want it, bid it, win it. Had some super chats that I want to acknowledge. Just haven't had a chance because the stream's pretty busy. Let's see. I even missed on a few of them. I apologize to those that I miss. One was Marine Rebel says, have y'all heard any back channel talks with future candidates? If so, would the fan base be happy or meh? I don't know about back channel. You get into details here. Back channels. Look, I think Ole Miss has begun the process of moving on, if you will. I think they're going to do it the right way. They're going to wait until he's gone, until something's official. But yeah, I mean, are they having conversations internally about candidates? I would certainly suspect so. I mean, I don't know that, but I would bet a lot of money on it. Rebel Grizz says odds that Dart is at Ole Miss next year. He isn't following Kiffin. I agree that he is not following Kiffin. I would think if you're Jackson, you wait and you see what happens, who Ole Miss brings in, and then you go from there. Because if you're to leave and play immediately someplace, you're going to have to get a waiver. I would think you'd want to evaluate what happens, but no, I don't think, based on just kind of what I hear roundabout, I'd be surprised if Jackson Dart followed Lane Kiffin to Auburn or anywhere else. Bobblefish says, is Ole Miss the best job available when Kiffin leaves? I think it's better than Nebraska.
What are the openings right now?
Depending on what happens at Wisconsin, Wisconsin's an attractive job. A lot of resources, a lot of money. It's in the Big Ten, moving into the new TV deal. What else is open?
Major jobs, I can't think of anything unless there's just something completely. I saw a list the other day, and now I can't remember where it is. I don't recall.
What channel's the Japan-Germany game? I'll turn that on in here in the Clark Ford Studios. Is that 219?
I don't know.
That's probably Fox Sports 1.
If this is correct, the current openings around the country are Arizona State, Auburn, Charlotte, Colorado, Georgia Tech, Nebraska, Wisconsin, UAB, South Florida.
So yeah, Ole Miss and Wisconsin would be the two super attractive
better than Nebraska,
jobs.
Better than Georgia Tech, better than Colorado, better than Arizona State.
It kind of depends on who you listen to. If you listen to some of the Auburn people, the Ole Miss job is. Who's the other ones? You said Colorado.
I mean, it's basically Ole Miss or Charlotte.
Yeah,
something like that.
And Charlotte is in a big city, so you have more to do there.
Bigger population.
Yeah, I don't know that Ole Miss could hire the Charlotte coach. I just don't know that he would come.
Thank God that didn't happen a few years ago.
You think Chris Cutcliffe would even consider it? Because, I don't even know that Jeff Lebby would think about it. Would Chris Cutcliffe think about it? He's got a good gig at Oxford High School.
Still kind of following your dad?
Yeah. And he wouldn't be able to teach the history class at Ole Miss.
Yeah. All right. As you said, I don't even really feel like a lot of caveats are necessary at this point. As I told Neal a minute ago, if something changes, it has to be from a standpoint of Auburn decides that the last hour that they're going in a different direction or something, or that they just can't do it for whatever reason. Monday night scared them off. Take your reason why, but it would require something along those elements.
Yeah.
Where Auburn pulled the plug and bailed on things. So if that's the case, and then Lane Kiffin goes, nope, signing the extension, here we are. We just live in this crazy, bizarro world, and we'll cover year 4 of Lane Kiffin and just kind of sigh and go, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, look, anything is possible is what I've learned in college football. So I'm putting that caveat on there.
This doesn't feel possible.
No, but again, things fall apart at the last minute.
That's true.
We've seen stuff. So I'm just saying, I mean, I'm just.
It'd be tense.
I mean,
it'd be tense.
There'd
be a lot of tension
on a number of levels.
On so many levels.
Let's just say morale has taken a hit over the last few days.
Can you imagine? I mean, can you imagine like a scenario, seriously, where he stayed, got off to a decent start, things went belly up at Texas A&M, and the rumor mill started?
According to sources, the offer. I mean, look again. Everybody thinks he's going to Auburn, but technically, the offer was on the table still yesterday. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's what I was told.
The Ole Miss offer.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, sure. So anyway, I guess point being is, if we get to that world, then we get to that world. Okay, that's all I'm saying here as we move forward. Because if that 0.1% happens, I don't need the crowd tomorrow. Go, well, you guys spent the whole podcast. I was like, no.
Fair
That's
enough.
an easy. Well, okay. There's nothing easy about it, but that is a very clear path. Should that be the case?
Fair enough.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay. I like covering bases.
My guess is that by tomorrow night, one way or the other, and I think we all know which one way I think it's going, it will be very clear.
Yes. Okay.
It might not be official, but it will be clear.
So in saying all that,
Japan scored in the 83rd minute. How about that?
That would be an upset, right?
It's a bit of an upset. Germany is
Japan good?
Well,
I mean, Germany's always really good.
Yeah, Germany's usually pretty good, so Japan must be pretty good.
Or it's just a big upset. I mean, Saudi Arabia beat whoever the other day, Portugal.
Who did Saudi Arabia beat? It wasn't Portugal. It was Argentina.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. All right. So in saying all that,
oh, the German coach looks pissed.
Really?
Oh, did you see that? His eyes were like daggers.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So where does Ole Miss move from here if Lane Kiffin is the next coach at Auburn as expected? Clearly, behind the scenes, has been doing work on this just in case. You can't get caught with your pants down, and you would be processing the options for you at that point to move quickly once it is officially happened. Again, no, you don't interview coaches while you still have a coach. You don't do any of that stuff. I saw that on the board. That doesn't happen. But there is a very clear timetable here in a lot of ways. December 5th is when the portal opens up. We have talked about this for a while, that the portal is absolutely open season this year. Everybody around college football says it's going to be much crazier than past years. It is going to be insane. It's going to be more people than you can imagine that are just, if nothing else, testing their options, or even almost acting like professional free agents where they're trying to get more money from their current place. All of those things. It's
going to be a lot of disappointed
It's using
people.
a lot of leverage in ways that they think they have. A lot of them are going to realize they actually don't have that level of leverage, but they're still going to jump in the portal and see what happens.
A lot of people are going to be, a lot of guys are going to hurt themselves.
They are.
But come December the 5th, you either need to have a coach in place, or everybody needs to know that's who your coach is. It's a real number. It's a real date.
So in saying all those things, let's do this. We're discussing this in the vein of Ole Miss has a coaching opening and what makes sense and who's available out there for that. I know, and I'm not getting into a site war. I don't see any realm of even a little bit of possibility that Ole Miss would entertain bringing Hugh Freeze back as head coach. So I'm going to say that now, and I'm going to move on from it and not talk about it anymore. Shut up, Neal.
Hold on. No.
Shut up.
Someone is writing that Hugh Freeze would be a candidate. You brought it up. I didn't.
Writing that Hugh would be very, very, very interested, but at this time did not believe Ole Miss would be interested in him.
Well, that's kind of like me saying I would be very, very interested in Kate Upton, but at this time it does not appear that she would be interested in me. Fair enough.
Yeah, covering bases.
Kate, listen, maybe in a different world, but
I mean, I would like
it does not appear that
I would really like the Ole Miss job if I can get on that candidacy list, Keith. I told somebody, if you have $9 million, pay me $2 million. I'll use the other $7 million for coordinators, NIL, and under the table payments to make sure all the official visits and unofficial visits happen and all the family are taken care of. That is my interview. That is my pitch. More than happy to do that. And if I get hit with the show calls at some point, I won't coach college football anymore. That's fine. I'm all good.
You are a man of the people.
That is my candidacy right there. Pay me 2, I'll take 7 and set up a damn slush fund for everything that needs to happen from that point. Good.
You know what? I'll do it for. I'll keep 1.9 and I'll take the 7.1 and I'll put it into the Grove Collective, and we'll go buy all the players, and I'll just coach. I'll coach 4 years.
My point in saying that is,
and then if you can fire me, and I will leave out whichever door you ask me to, and I'll say all the nice things.
My point in saying all that is, I have a feeling Hugh Freeze's candidacy from a Keith Carter standpoint is the same as what my candidacy would be to Keith Carter.
Gotcha.
That is my point in that. So now that that's out of the way,
I'd like your chances with Carter better than mine at this point.
I think Hugh will be a candidate at West Virginia.
Yes.
West Virginia wants Hugh.
Yes, they're doing some plane tracking in Morgantown.
Well, including an email that we got yesterday. Let's just say Hugh's interested in the West Virginia job.
Yes.
That's one way to put it.
It's an interesting job for him to take because it's risky, because I'm not sure that West Virginia is what West Virginia once was. West Virginia once had some juice. I don't sense that it's got much juice right now.
The 2 names that are completely off the top are for big-time jobs to at least consider and try to see what the interest level. Luke Fickell, Matt Rule, they clear to be a clear 1A, 1B as far as potential guys who are out there and are either looking to get back in or take that jump. Luke Fickell's at Cincinnati. They are moving to the Big 12. He's been the under-the-table thing for years, has been waiting on Ohio State, waiting on the Big Ten job. Ryan Day is clearly comfortable at Ohio State. Doesn't seem like he's going anywhere for a while.
There are some NFL rumors on Day that you'd have to watch, but I don't know that Ryan Day's ready to leave Ohio State. And here's the deal with Fickell. People say, well, he would never take the Ole Miss job. So I've got a little bit of information here. Look, I think it would be a long shot for Fickell to take the Ole Miss job. I would bet against it, but I would absolutely not, based on things that I've heard from people inside the Cincinnati program. I would absolutely not rule it out. You'd have to pay. You'd have to put a lot of money on the table for him. You'd have to put a lot of money on the table for staff. But he is concerned that Cincinnati's NIL situation, which is basically non-existent, is going to make it very difficult for them to compete inside the Big 12. When you're in the American, you're competing against a lot of other programs that don't have a lot of NIL capability either. Even in the Big 12 without Texas and Oklahoma, you are competing against programs that do have some NIL capability. And if you don't have any, it's going to make it difficult to compete. So would Luke Fickell, who's a career Midwesterner, basically, Ohio State, Cincinnati, would he come to the Southeastern Conference at a program that would be, middle of the pack in terms of resources? I don't know. But I can tell you that I do think he would listen. Matt Rule yesterday, or Tuesday, I lose track of days, Monday, Tuesday, one of the days. Matt Rule this week did a radio hit where he talked about a lot of things, including his desire to get back into the college game. Outkick, I want to give credit where it's due. I don't know whether it was speculative or whether someone knew something, mentioned the likelihood of an imminent Ole Miss vacancy and linked Matt Rule's name to Ole Miss. Matt Rule did not succeed in Carolina in large part because he didn't have a quarterback. That's the quarterback league. If you don't have a quarterback, you're in trouble. We've all watched that in the NFL. Matt Rule did an incredible job at Temple. He did an amazing job at Baylor. And anybody who thinks that Ole Miss would have no interest in Matt Rule and that interest would not be reciprocated, you're kidding yourself. And I think if you're Ole Miss, and look, I'm not the guy running a search, but if I'm the guy running a search, I'm starting there. Those are two conversations I have to have. Now, are those the only conversations I have? No. But those are two conversations that I have to have. And if it's me, Luke Fickell has to give me a no before I move on. And then I'd like to pick his brain.
He is the ultimate program guy out there that also has a ton of ability as a head football coach. Matt Rule, salary is interesting with him because of buyout and different things. So the Panthers, he had a fully guaranteed contract with the Panthers. So when he was fired, if he does nothing else and just goes home and sits on his couch and does nothing, he receives the rest of his $40 million remaining on his deal from the Panthers.
It's like $800,000 a month.
It is $834,000 per month until it is paid off. The language in the contract, though, is any college job at all to whatever level is a cent for cent reduction of that buyout. So if Ole Miss or whomever pays him $5 million in a year, that's $5 million less that the Panthers would be paying off of that contract. It is a dollar for dollar.
Oh, so just be so he's guaranteed.
He's guaranteed the money that he's guaranteed $834,000 a month, right. And then whatever he makes per month from the institution he works for is a credit off that.
Gotcha.
That is correct.
So one way or the other, he's guaranteed $40 million.
That is correct.
So it's a matter of whether he wants to coach or not.
Yeah.
And he's on record as saying, I miss practice fields. I miss the players. I miss being a part of a team.
Yeah, they call it the Panthers get a dollar for dollar credit against his buyout, depending on what he makes at his next stop, is the way they phrased it. Off 830. It's good to be Matt Rule today.
Yeah.
Good to be Matt Rule.
Bad. Hey, baby, no matter what happens.
On the 15th of every month, $834 coming into the account.
No matter what. We're good.
Oh.
Hon, everything's going to be all right. Wouldn't that be great? No stress. Never have to think about it.
Yeah, look, your knock on Matt Rule is simply that he has never done it in a sustained period of time in college. That's all you got.
He was on his way to doing it at Baylor, and then the NFL came calling.
And had turned around what was a certifiable train wreck.
Oh, my God. I mean,
we're too far from it now to remember just how bad that was.
It was
in that
scorched
post-Star
earth.
Brawls era.
It was scorched earth.
I mean, there was nothing.
And he did an incredible job. And then the NFL came calling. And look, when the NFL comes calling and you're a guy like that,
you give it a shot.
You give it a shot, right?
I mean, there's no doubt about that. So, all right, those are the top two guys. I'm going to get some other candidates. We're going to talk about people who might or might not make sense in a second. Before we do that, I'll tell you about G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine for your prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to pharmacy, one delivery, and you have everything you need when you need it with G&M. Also with Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs, and they also do individually doses. They package those together for those who need that extra step. It can save a life or help that special someone help themselves with the doses when they need it. So, again, that's 662-236-2222.
Also brought to you by Solutions RX. It's a probiotic multivitamin supplement company created by Ole Miss Pharmacy alum Chris Corneliussen's right here. Everything's manufactured right here inside Mississippi. If you take diabetes medicine, high blood pressure medicine, or cholesterol medications, they typically can cause side effects like muscle pain, brain fog, energy loss due to a depletion of minerals and vitamins in the body. But Chris formulated a product called Prescription Support. Puts those vitamins back into your body. Just makes you feel better. I've been using some of their products, and I feel great. You will too. Give it a shot. SolutionsRx.com, promo code OEP at checkout, and you get 10% off your first order. Holcomb Portable Buildings, 7991 Highway 7 South in Holcomb. They custom build your building to your specifications, however you want your carport, ATV or storage shed, barn, hunting cabin, or other buildings. Holcomb can accommodate you. You pick the color, the style, the windows, the doors. Holcomb makes it happen. In-house financing is available, and it's free delivery and set up within 75 miles of Holcomb as well. 662-226-2233, or go to holcombbuildings.com. It's holiday season, holiday parties and such, so you want to be ready. Get the Game Changer patches. They're the only two-patch system available in the market to stop hangovers before they start. The warm-up patch used before or while you drink. The overtime patch used after you've been drinking to recover while you sleep. The all-natural ingredients will keep you in the game, ready for the next play. Go to GameChangerPatch.com. Promo code RebelGrove20 at checkout for 20% off your purchase. ACS, Automation and Control Systems, LLC, is owned and operated by my friend Clay McNutt in Baldwin, Mississippi. It's a complete electrical control system solution provider and a Rockwell Automation recognized system integrator. ACS has a full-time dedicated emergency service and troubleshooting staff and a UL 508A panel shop. It's acsllcms.com or call 662-601-4381. My girls are in town for Thanksgiving. They stopped by Lammons yesterday to do some shopping, get a couple of things fixed. They always talk about how nice the people are there, Alan King and all the people there, Alan and Nancy King and the people at Lammons. Great service as well, great products. They're the gold standard in fine jewelry. It's at 1126 North Lamar Boulevard in Oxford. If you're coming to town for the Egg Bowl or you're just coming to town to do some Black Friday shopping or whatnot, make Lammons a part of your day. It's 1126 North Lamar Boulevard or 662-234-2777.
Podcast also brought to you by Style Assembly, a woman's clothing boutique on the square. They're running a special promo between now and the Egg Bowl to help boost Ole Miss's NIL efforts. They're going to donate 20% of all store proceeds during that time to the Grove Collective to help the Rebs. So just mention the ad, and you'll also be entered into a $250 gift card drawing that is available only to Rebel Grove subscribers and podcast listeners. You can take care of Christmas shopping that way. There will be another chance to get the wife, girlfriend, or yourself the perfect gift while also supporting the collective in the process. It is a win-win. So go ahead and knock out the dreaded holiday shopping. Stop by the store on the square 203 North Lamar next to Blind Pig and Frock, or call them 662-638-3163. You can also DM Shop Style Assembly on social media to place an order. Mike Norvell is a name that's been going around. Florida State finally turned it around a little bit. You and I were talking about it yesterday that took a minute. It's very possible Jimbo left that in a little worse shape than most people expected. Ole Miss had Norvell really high on the list when they hired Kiffin. What's your thought, Norvell, for the Rebels or for anybody at this point?
I'm a little skeptical, but not tons. He's in the ACC, which that league 3 years ago was kind of on the same general plane as the SEC. 3 years later, it's not. And you look at what's happening in the SEC and you look at what's happening in the ACC, and the SEC offers more money, more stability, more potential for multiple bids in a 12-team playoff. Mike's done a really good job at Florida State. It was in bad shape when he took over. They're pretty competitive right now. If you watch them at the line of scrimmage, they're pretty good. They're a 9.5-point favorite against Florida on Friday night. Would he leave Florida State and what he's built to go to Ole Miss? I'm a little doubtful, but he's probably another guy that, if his representation had any interest at all, it's a guy that I would want to talk to. What do you think?
It doesn't blow me away. As mentioned in the stream, Hardman says, he frankly was on the hot seat had he not turned around the season. It was kind of a last chance a little bit at Florida State. Now he did.
But he did. This was year 3, yeah.
And you get a third year to – because you got to realize, too, Florida State, again, they're in the ACC. There are some reasons why that jump makes a ton of sense. Also, however, if you think the ACC is going to have a place at the table and you're going to have a 12-team playoff, and if you think you have an NIL situation to do it, Clemson's coming down. That league's kind of there for you to be the preeminent team and just get into the playoff every year. So in some ways, I don't know if I'm Mike Norvell how much that necessarily makes sense, just from that standpoint.
Sure.
Now you can do that at Ole Miss too. That's not a Florida State can get in the playoff, Ole Miss can't. That's not what I'm saying.
Here's the big question, right?
Do you just want to double your salary?
That's the big question. The question is, and if I'm
because I'm not sure if Florida State can go over 5.5, 6, something like that. I don't know if they can get in that big territory of stupid salaries.
If I'm in the agent world, my question is: so you guys let it be publicly known that you were willing to pay Lane Kiffin $9 million? You willing to pay my guy $9 million? That's my question. Because if you are, we're having a different conversation. $9 million makes you in the top 10, closer to 5 than 10, as a matter of fact. You make $9 million. There's a lot of guys that are going, well, hold up. Let me look at this. And don't do the whole money. It's not all about money. Lots of us make financial decisions. Stop.
Yeah, sure.
Money is a kind of a across the board motivator. So, that's the first question I've got. Like, if someone says, put together a tiered hot board, well, okay, I got a question. How much money are we working with? And I realize that you're not paying everybody the same amount, but if you're willing to go deep water fishing with really big bait, well, it's different than heading over to Sardis to try to catch what do you catch at Sardis? Brim, catfish? I don't even know.
Bass, whatever, yeah.
Whatever.
Okay.
You get the point, though.
Next time you go fishing the Sardis will be your first.
Yeah, I mean.
That and one more will be two.
Yeah.
I've gotten this question on the message board. Matt Rule's not going to take a $1 million salary so the Panthers can pay the rest. That's just not how the game works.
No.
Yeah, Norvell, I mean, a lot of fans are going, it doesn't really excite me. It's not overly – that doesn't knock me over. I mean, I know he's a good coach. I know it's fine. But that felt much more exciting in 19 than it does today. It's fine.
Yeah.
Not bad. Not a bad coach.
Okay.
Done a good job.
Agreed. Luke Fickell's telling me no before I hire Mike Norvell. Twice. Maybe 3 times. In fact, he might have to issue a restraining order.
I would have to be convinced 7 million times in different ways to consider making the hire. But if I'm Keith Carter, I interview Deion Sanders.
Absolutely.
Go to Jackson State. Clearly, I mean, if you want to go splash for splash, I got your guy.
I mean, he might be the only name out there.
They could just
from a pure hype.
Yeah, we're just talking about PR. Boom.
He's probably the only name out there, remotely realistically, that would fill that void instantly. That moment. The moment Deion Sanders landed a Power 5 SEC head coaching gig, the media attention on that would be remarkable. I mean, the same people who were in Auburn on Sunday, is my guess, would be in Oxford whenever that time came.
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever.
Yeah, I would talk to Deion for sure. I mean, he's put together a roster at Jackson State that is clearly head and shoulders above the rest of the SWAC.
And he would recruit.
I think kids would want to play for him. I think he
would generate NIL dollars.
And I think he would be able to attract people to want to play for him. Now, does he know?
This is all about experience and program management.
Yes.
That is what it's about. It is about he just hasn't done it.
Would he be willing and able? And I have no idea the answer to these questions. These are not rhetorical questions. Would he be willing and able to put together a staff of people who could help him learn how to run a program of this magnitude?
Yeah.
Because running this and
Two
running Jackson
coordinators
State,
and a great GM would be utmost necessities.
Yeah, and I'd have to go beyond that too. I'd have to have support staff people who had loads of Power 5 experience. I'd have to have recruiting coordinating people who had loads of Power 5 experience. You would have to put together a different kind of support staff to help him because he's never even coached a day at the Power 5 level or at the Group of 5 level.
No. I mean, that's why at the end of the day, I don't think I can make the hire. Is you're turning over a program that needs tons of immediate portal help. High school recruiting's been kind of hit and miss. You got all these different things. You're running this program in the SEC where everything's got to be max efficiency. It's where I'd have a really hard time pulling that trigger on somebody without. Now, I mean, it's a credit to him that you're even considering it because most of the time you would go, nah, come on. No way in hell.
He's done a really good job at Jackson State.
And I was told yesterday that
I would listen.
He was really, really, really good when he interviewed at TCU last year.
Yeah.
That it blew people away on the preparation that he had done into that and the plan in place for the Power 5 level. Again, don't know. Yeah, I mean, I get the quarterback thing, but I mean, you'll figure it out.
You
can figure it out.
That part's really short-sighted if it came down to that. I mean, you don't make a decision based on a player.
Beyond that.
God, maybe I almost said something. I'm so glad I didn't.
What?
No.
You good?
About making decisions based on one player.
Oh.
Well, some people kind of getting validated. I mean.
Yes, there is a game tomorrow. It's amazing. They play football tomorrow night. You got like one or two guys that just make a lot of sense for you beyond that? I mean, you and I are kind of in agreement. That's four that make a ton of sense.
I'll throw a name at you.
Ways.
Throw a name at you.
Okay.
Dave Aranda, head coach at Baylor, beat Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl last year, won the Big 12. I know they've taken a slight step back this year. I have reason to believe that Dave Aranda is interested in moving up into one of the major leagues. Big
Probably
10,
seeing
SEC.
a little bit of the issue you have at Baylor with ceilings.
Sure.
Yeah, Deion has Mike Zimmer on staff, and I want to give full credit here. I was talking to Richard Cross about this yesterday. I think Richard told me that he's coaching for free. That Deion has Zimmer just helping out.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. I don't know what Aranda's buyout is. I have no idea.
I don't know anything about. I hadn't gotten that far, but I didn't make the name out of thin air. I didn't just throw.
They fell off this year.
They've
wall. Struggled more than last year, obviously.
They did. They lost a lot of people. They probably made some evaluation mistakes. But now he's an elite defensive coach, and he has shown that he can win at a high level.
And he's a program guy.
Well, big time.
Big program guy.
Sharp.
Because I do think Ole Miss is going to be very interested in program guy right now. I don't see the flyer on the lack of a program guy.
Yeah, Mike Zimmer's son did die recently. He was on the Bengals staff.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Aranda makes sense. Aranda makes a lot of sense. That next group, I've heard no real buzz on Jeff Traylor at all, although that name has been mentioned to me multiple
UTSA?
times.
Yeah.
That doesn't feel right to me. It just doesn't.
You call Mike Gundy?
Call him, sure.
Sure.
That doesn't mean you have to hire him. Yeah, I mean, look.
See, if it's me,
I'm talking to a bunch of folks.
Yeah,
sure,
if it's
why
me,
not?
if it's me and I'm Keith, hell, I'm starting today. If it's me and I'm Keith, I'm calling people and I'm seeing if I can at least get an audience, a Zoom call. I'd love to pick Mike Gundy's brain. I might pick up something that could help me in a search. Even if Mike Gundy had no interest. He's like, hey, I've been here forever. I'm going to stay here forever. I'm good. I'd love to talk to him about how did you do what you did? How did you build Oklahoma State into the consistent presence that you've done? How did you do it? If you were looking for a coach, what are some things you would look for? Are there some people out there that you already would have on your radar? I'd love to pick his brain. And most people like that want to talk. So, yeah, I'd want to talk to Deion Sanders. I'd absolutely want to talk to Luke Fickell. The problem that you're going to have with Fickell now, and you might have mentioned this earlier, and guys like him.
It takes a minute.
Well, if Luke Fickell beats Tulane on Friday, they're playing next Saturday or Friday, whatever.
December 3rd.
In the AAC title game.
Correct.
He's probably not going to talk to you before then, even in back channels. Most coaches don't interview during the season. Sorry.
Fair.
I mean, it is. So I don't know. But those are some names. I mean, then there's some young guys that I'd want to talk to. Garrett Riley, the offensive coordinator at TCU.
He's 33.
No, but I'd want to talk to him. I'm not hiring him, but I want to talk to him. Everybody says rising star. Okay, let's have a conversation. I'd like to get to meet him because somewhere down the road, I might do this again, and I might want to circle back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
after he's going to UTEP or somewhere and won and whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you have an availability, today's just November the 23rd. you've got 5-6 days to play with. I want to talk to a lot of people. I want to get inundated with information and ideas and personalities. And somebody might wow me where I completely change my plan. I'd want to talk to a couple of young up-and-coming guys that probably aren't ready for this yet, probably couldn't sell them yet, but for those same reasons, I'd want to talk to Kane Womack at South Alabama. I'd want to talk to John Summerall at Troy, not to hire them, but I'd love to pick their brains. How did you do what you did? How did you, like a guy like Kane, for example? And look, full disclosure, Kane's a good friend.
Yeah.
I like Kane a lot, so this is going to be biased. There, I said it. That said, my friendship with Kane, it has nothing to do with the fact that they're a win away from going 10-2 in year 2 at South Alabama. My friendship with Kane has nothing to do with the fact that he has shown an incredible ability to work the transfer portal at his level. How did you do it? What are you doing? He's also, and John has too, built really good cultures where they are in short order. John's done it in one year.
Yeah.
They're a win over Arkansas State on Saturday from going 10-2 at Troy in year 1, with one of the losses being at Ole Miss.
They're a different program today than when you guys saw them on September the 5th.
Yeah, so I'd want to have those conversations. If I'm conducting a search, I want to talk to a lot of people like that. How did you do it? What's going on? How do you view the portal? How would you attack the portal if you were at Ole Miss? How would you do what you did? I'm getting ideas. I want to be educated. I want to talk to people in that field, and I want to come away from it more educated than I am going into it if I'm conducting a search.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, Dion would change a lot of those things. I mean, but that's not the purpose. The point's to win. If the other stuff, any secondary thing happens, but that's not why you make a hire. I mean, I've said for a while the kid could actually play. Again, it had to do with his own-field ability. One of Houston Nutt's worst mistakes ever was not signing Ralph David Abernathy.
That was an error.
14 years ago or whenever that was. Kid showed up every Saturday.
Another name that's going to come up. So let's talk about it.
Who?
Gus Malzahn. Now you got I think you have an out on Malzahn, because if I'm Ole Miss, I don't want to do this. I don't even want to go down the road. I think I go, well, he's got to play in that game. It's too late.
Yeah, they're going to play Tulane or Cincinnati in the AAC title game.
I don't think the optics of losing your coach to Auburn and then hiring a coach that Auburn fired works.
Alan Green has a job at Ole Miss if he wants it. Yeah, look, Gus underperformed at Auburn, as said, at least consistently.
We're about to find out.
Well, that's fair. Let me rephrase. The perception is that he underperformed consistently at Auburn. We might find out that it's just Auburn. It's very, very possible. They have highs and then they have mediocrity. That is what Auburn has been. We'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, that first booster lunch.
That's what I'm getting at. We'll get there in a minute.
Oh, I can't wait.
You don't hire the guy who Auburn just fired.
Right.
You don't.
Did you see where Brian Harsin liked?
I did, yeah.
That was
Hey
Brian, that was funny.
Yeah. It's you don't do that. And frankly, you kind of done Gus. I mean, I don't it doesn't make sense. Like, it's not.
You already had Gus.
Cuz look, you saw the prototype. I mean, I get he did the thing with Nick Marshall, had the good season or whatever, but you know exactly what you're getting, and that's not where Ole Miss is trying to be right now.
Right.
It doesn't. He's older. It just doesn't make sense at all. Whatsoever. I don't get that.
Grind thinks this is salt.
No.
Grind. Just remember these conversations.
Yeah.
All I will say is that before we get back on the other is that the Lane Kiffin of social media is not the physical Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I'm going there in a minute, actually.
Just remember that.
And then your other group of coaches, and I'm going to throw them all kind of in one group, is the program builders who do not have a ton of personality, at least outwardly, guys who are really solid football coaches, but are not going to excite any of you guys whatsoever. And
Dave Clawson.
you're going to be coming off lane, and you're not going to like this, even if they're going to win. It's the Mike Elkos, Dave Dorans, Dave Clawsons, the ACC guys, if we will call them that. It's those kind of dudes.
I will reiterate what I've said consistently.
Lance Leipold, had he not up to Kansas, that kind of thing.
Ross hiring Dave Doran would have been a really strong move at that moment. People just don't realize how good of a hire it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, so you got those dudes that, again, all you guys are going to be really, really frustrated if it went that direction, and I get it, but they've done good jobs at their programs. I understand why you would talk to them and consider them.
Sure. Those kind of guys, my questions are, can you do it in the SEC? Do you have SEC ties? Can you put together a staff of guys that can recruit in the SEC? But now look, the other part of that is that you talk to people in coaching and they'll start to tell you that, recruiting's different now. It's all about money. It's literally all about money. It's not even hardly even about anything else. So if it's all about, well, how big is your NIL collective and how can you utilize it?
Right.
Because if you can recruit differently, whatever. So if your NIL's in package, a guy that's winning in the ACC, for example, could easily come win in the SEC because it's all about, if you have the tools, we know how to use the tools.
Yeah, we can figure it out. Podcast brought to you in part by Johnson Hill Creamery, johnsonhillcreamery.com. Small batch artisanal cheese, charcuterie boards, catering, grazing tables, and more. They are now a member of the Grove Collective, trying to help the Rebels in that regard, so support them in that process. It's johnsonhillcreamery.com. You can order tons of things on their website. You don't have to talk to anybody. Don't have to call. You can call, but you don't have to. They also have their holiday open house. It's this Saturday from 12 to 5. You can come out there on White Oak Lane just off Molly Bar. You can shop for gifts, check out their new seasonal cheeses, sign up for holiday boxes and more. There's snacks and refreshments provided, and door prizes as well for the first 5 customers. So that's November 26th from 12 to 5 there at Johnston Hill Creamery, 662-419-9201.
We're also brought to you by Pinnacle. They're based in Madison, Mississippi. Got clients in more than 20 states, advisors in multiple states. What they do is they provide detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much, much more. It's mypinwealth.com, MYPINN wealth.com. Brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. He's already been mentioned in the stream. John just does great work. If you're thinking about a trip, you want it to be special, you want it to be one that creates a lifetime of unique memories, get in touch with him. Just give him some parameters and give him a budget. That's the big thing. If you want to save yourself some time and make it really good, say, here's what I'm willing to spend. I'm willing to spend X. And then sit back and do nothing. And he's going to come up with options that you're not going to find on your own. It's going to make it so easy, and you just get to sit back and enjoy your vacations. J. Edwards at regencytravel.net or 901-494-3387. Oxford's new Greek restaurant on the square is the perfect place to plan your Christmas party. Featuring fabulous food and craft libations, let OPA host your company dinner or festive party event. OPA can accommodate up to 200 guests. For catering or booking information, call Jeannie, 601-421-7147. I need to publish my mailbag. It's ready. I just haven't hit the button. It's brought to you by Whitney McNutt of Tommy Morgan Incorporated Realtors, serving you for all your real estate needs in Oxford and Tupelo. She sells condos, land, commercial, and residential family homes. You can reach her at 662-567-2573, 662-842-3844. We'll have picks up tomorrow. They're brought to you by Service Specialist Staffing and Recruiting Agency, connecting great job opportunities to candidates since 1967. If you're on the job hunt, whether you're seeking an entry-level position or you're a seasoned professional, they have opportunities across the board: IT, engineering, dentistry, accounting, law, manufacturing, human resources, or maybe something you don't even know that you're looking for. They can help you at Service Specialists. Get in touch with Will, Sydney, or Kelsey, 662-832-5138, or check out their new and improved website, servicespecialistltd.com. Don't just accept what you see, but imagine something new. Step forward, chase after a better version of yourself. Every day, Corinth Dental is helping people reinvent themselves one smile at a time. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative state-of-the-art procedures, including Invisalign. It's 12 months, no interest, no down payment financing available as well at corinthdental.com.
I mean, Lane's going to do the Walk of Champions, so it's not worth even discussing.
He should bring the dog. He should really bring the dog.
Anything to
Word of advice. It's free.
Bring the dog.
Bring the dog.
You lead the dog.
In fact, you might want to get him a friend.
Bring a lot of dogs.
Bring 2 dogs.
Hey, Wild Rose, can we borrow some labs for the?
Can we borrow all the labs?
Yeah. Can you bring your whole stock down here? We'll send them down the walk. Still chance of rain tomorrow. I don't expect a great attendance.
No.
The last couple of days have really dwindled that. I mean, just from my own understanding of availability for tickets.
Does Lane mention attendance?
Thursday night?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Because I think he's going to mention attendance when he goes to the new place.
Which is the most disingenuous thing.
I think attendance is going to be...
I think he's got several things queued up to quote, and I'm using air quotes here for people not in our stream, blame Ole Miss for why he went. And all of them are complete and utter horseshit. I mean, they really are. It's the attendance thing.
So do you think he'll mention attendance tomorrow night?
Here's the catch on that. And you and I talked about this.
See, sometimes he likes to trigger me, and there are things that I know trigger him. And so right now I'm just shooting at it.
So here's the thing, is the press conference tomorrow night, it should lead with the Auburn question off the top.
Yes.
Which then changes the press conference. So at that point, he would have to, does he do opening statements in post game?
You don't think we should say, hey, Lane, you guys seem to struggle with the running game tonight. Was that a fit thing or what was that? You don't think we should ask, hey, it looked like you really got the passing game going. Did you kind of feel that coming in practice?
No one cares. Does he do
those questions get asked too, by the way, and I'm going to lose my mind.
Does he do opening statements in post game?
Yes.
Or no?
Yes.
So he would have to bring it up in opening statements, right?
It gets asked sometimes. You've heard it asked.
But my point is, if he gets off the top with, "Hey, Lane, are you the next coach at Auburn or whatever?"
Right.
I'm not going to phrase that for somebody the way it should be phrased, but whatever. Saying that nobody's asking the damn question.
I'm asking it.
Well, okay, but
I mean, I know if I get to ask it, I know precisely how I'm going to ask it.
Yeah, I went to my you.
Yeah.
No, probably, but it's dumb. It makes no sense.
It would almost require a follow-up question with Lane. Objectively, how much do you think this situation over the last few days led to people not coming who would have come?
Because that's the truth.
I mean, at some point, it's why I think tomorrow night has a chance to get almost argumentative. I don't know how many people in there will have the taste for that, but not disrespectful, but, oh, come on.
Well, he's going to be a little agitated because I think Russell's right in his thread. I think there's going to be some level of booze tomorrow night. Not widespread, but when they do the thing in pregame, when they go, Lane Kiffin, Oxford, Mississippi.
Yeah.
There's going to be some booze. They're just are.
Well, and whether they win or lose the game will impact some of, not much, but it will impact some of the way that the post game goes down.
In what way?
Well, in a scenario where they get Arkansas'd, okay, 15-point loss that felt worse than that, and State takes the trophy and all that stuff, and he walks in there, we're all able to write, boy, you guys didn't handle distraction very well, huh? I think it's a little saltier, because look, there's some people on our beat.
You're also going 8-4, 4-4.
There are also some people on our beat. I'm not being disrespectful. There are people on our beat who are pretty big fans, who really love Ole Miss and who really are emotionally attached to this game.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so Ole Miss loses the game.
There's more frustration.
There's more frustration in those people, and it might come out differently. As opposed to if Ole Miss goes out and let's say that the computer model's right and Ole Miss wins by like 5 points.
Yeah, sure.
And they take the trophy home. They go 9-3. He went 3-0 in Egg Bowls. Those same people, even though they're frustrated a little and they want to do their story, there's a part of them.
They got the win. They got the 9 wins on the season.
Yeah, and on their Facebook pages when people aren't going to be coming at them with, haha, you lost your coach and you lost the egg and blah, 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 blah. And they're not having to, because it bothers some of these people. Mississippi State has, hey, the Egg Bowl day at the Walmart Ackerman. You know what I mean? I mean, just keeping it real. So I do think it impacts some of the way that the night goes down. Fans show up, and after the game starts, they're cheering for their team to win the game.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So if
they're supporting the players at that point.
If Ole Miss wins the game,
they're happy for the players,
and they're cheering.
Yeah,
because they're winning the game. Now,
lose.
Let Arkansas play out the way that it played out last week, where it's over at halftime. It's gonna get rough out there. It gets rough out there, and if it's rough out there like all night long, the postgame's going to be shaky. Because there's only one thing he can say to make that line of questioning stop. What you got? You thinking something? It's rolling. It's right there. It's like it's right there. You're ready to say it. Just let it out.
I know it's bad. I got a text. I can't repeat.
Okay.
It threw me completely off my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to react, but I couldn't help it.
Everything okay?
I mean, personally,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No.
I didn't know if you needed to.
No. It's fine. All those things are in play tomorrow night. I mean, barring some sort of announcement before then, yeah, that's exactly where this thing's headed. I think it's somewhat argumentative. I think it's frustrating. I think fans, even in a win, everything's a little more subdued. It's kind of 4 players, anti-lane, that kind of thing. It's a really strange environment tomorrow night where I've been going to first halves anyway, but I'm definitely not missing tomorrow night. I'm really curious just what this thing plays out before and during.
I do feel for the players who get brought into a postgame, unless there's been resolution where he says, "Hey, look, I'm leaving," or "Hey, look, I'm definitely staying." If he doesn't address it in one emphatic way, one way or the other, I do feel sorry for the players that have to come in and answer questions about something that they have absolutely no control over whatsoever. And frankly, we don't get the one player that we would all like to talk to because he's a freshman.
That's a good point. Yeah. And just to finish, I mean, I know it was a little bit of a thought there, but no, the point was, because Neal and I were talking about it before the show, Lane and Auburn are such a bad fit in opposite directions, and unless one of them completely changes its stripes, it doesn't work.
Unless they kind of meet in the middle, and maybe they do. But
or win to such a high level that everybody just grits their teeth and goes, the hell was it?
Yeah.
Waiting on a loss, though.
The problem with that is that in today's college football, it's you lose games.
Look, a lot of Ole Miss people got not fooled because people told them, but they had to kind of see it for themselves. His personality is just so different than what his Twitter or his public personality is that it's a shock when it happens. And given that what Auburn is used to in its coaching staffs and that the whole family thing, I'm not even making fun of it. I'm just saying the level of togetherness and community and whatnot, it does not fit very well to that. So.
No, I mean, look, I've covered Auburn. I've covered Lane. Like I said last night, something will have to give one way or the other for that to kind of work long term. Because, look, he's not going to walk in on that roster right away and go boom and be a 10-game winner. So that first year, when if he's not doing some of the things that past Auburn coaches have done, the little impatience will grow. They'll give him time. He'll have a grace period, obviously. But he went 10-2 in year 2 at Ole Miss, and there will be expectations that he do something very similar there. And that's the truth. And so if he can, he's good. If he can't, it'll get salty.
Yeah. Because
he's not going to do some of that stuff. I don't think. Now, maybe he does. But if Monday night's any indication, he's not going to do some of those things.
So game is tomorrow, 6:00 start for that one. The Egg Bowl from Oxford, Bulldogs and the Rebels tomorrow. Ole Miss trying to get to 9 wins in regular season. State trying to get to 8. They have 7, right? Is that right?
What is?
You can tell we've really focused on the
know.
game this week.
I think State's got 6 wins.
Oh, do they?
Maybe they have 7 wins.
Okay. Anyway,
I don't know.
All right. Game tomorrow night.
By the way, the rumors about Leach, I don't think are true.
People who would have a better idea than me said that was not.
Yeah.
Did not seem to be accurate yesterday. So stay locked in from that. We'll have more to you when we can. Talk to you then.